I said, Blue Moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. For those that don't know, that's Elvis the King, folks. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is AJ coming to you once again from the Thwip side with the Moon Knight Disney Plus show trailer dropping last night. I thought it'd be a good time to do a Thwip side spotlight on Moon Knight, where I'll share with you my thoughts on the trailer, talk about his current comic run, and some other tidbits along the way. So, real quick before we get started, I apologize if my voice seems a little off or I seem a little off in general because I am still getting over COVID. But I wanted to do this video, and plus, it gets me out of bed for a little bit, getting a little stir crazy being in quarantine. So, yeah, I checked out the Moon Knight trailer last night. I thought it was really cool. It was kind of like a teaser, but you get a little more than from the Disney Events trailer, which got me really excited as well. But yes, this trailer I thought was fantastic. It gave us a glimpse into the show a little bit, and I just thought the costume was incredible, and it made me even super excited for the show, more so than I was even before. This is the Disney Plus show that I have been the most excited for that's upcoming. For those who may not know, Moon Knight is Mark Spector, who suffers from a dissociative identity disorder, I think it's called. So he has multiple personalities. And just judging by that trailer, I think Oscar Isaac is going to nail it. He just, in the minute and a half or almost 2 minutes glimpse we have, I really like what I saw coming from him. So that's got me really excited as well. And I just think he's going to nail this role, and I'm super pumped. Now, I'm kind of glad that the Moon Knight trailer dropped last night because it got me thinking about a well received notion that movies and shows for comic book properties don't draw new audiences into reading comics. It doesn't generate new fans. And while I hold that is probably pretty true, it's not 100% true, because Moon Knight is an example for where the TV show had got me interested in the comics, and I jumped on with this latest run. Now, being in and out of comics over the years, like I've said, I fell in, fell out, been back in heavily for a few years now, but I've always known of Moon Knight. No, by no means a Moon Knight expert, so I knew kind of the gist of the character, but not deep into his lore. And when I first heard that there was a Disney Plus show in development, it seemed really interesting, and that's when I decided to do more research into the character, and I've got more and more interest into the character, and he became somebody I wanted to check out more so than just if he showed up randomly in my Spider-Man comic from back in the day, because that was my knowledge of him showing up randomly in other comics throughout when I read comics. Fortunately, because of the show, I suspect they started this latest run of Moon Knight, and I immediately put it in my pull list, and I have been really, really enjoying it and thoroughly surprised. And it's actually making me even want to go further and read issues of older runs or maybe pick up some trades. So this is an example. I guess I'm an example of where a show has brought in me being the new reader into a comic book property, not in comics in general. So maybe I'm not as rare in that sense. Maybe there are some shows that bring already comic readers to a certain character. But I'm just saying, once again, I'm not the status quo as per se, as is kind of thought to be the case in most instances. And you're also, why not? Of course it'd be me, because I'm the guy that likes the Green Lantern movie. So this isn't going to be a spotlight of the whole character's history or anything. I just wanted to share my quick take on the trailer and go into, like I said, the current run of comics that I really enjoy. In case you were interested in it, I would definitely recommend picking it up. The artwork is fantastic, and I just love the story so far. We get Moon Knight as his Mark Spector persona slash Mr. Knight, and he runs a midnight mission where it's almost like a Sherlock Holmes thing. People come to his door, and instead of wanting him to solve cases per se, hey, there's a vampire. It's vampires, Vermin, the character Vermin, and his clones. They're bothering us in the neighborhood at night. Moon Knight goes and kicks their ass, which I think is just kind of cool and kind of wild in its own right. But by doing so, he does take on some vampires who are running like a pyramid scheme where they turn vampire people into vampires, and then they're expected to go out and turn people into vampires. So he stops these guys, but there were 4 just turned vampires who the other vampires were sending them out on their first mission to turn into other vampires. It's a lot of vampires. But after he kills off the 2 main the head vampires in the car or whatever, so to say, he spares the 4 young vampires because he realizes they they were brought into this not under their own free will. And one of them he takes as like his secretary. Her name is Reese, and I just thought that was really cool, and they have kind of a cool dynamic. He sees a therapist at the behest of the Avengers. Moon Knight does, named Andrea Sturman, who specializes in, I forget what it's called now. It's a superhero mental disorders, basically. So she is trying to help him out, but not with his um, multiple personality disorder, more that she wants to study the effects on his mind after coming into contact with a god, which is Khonshu, who he follows, of course. And that's his whole mission, protecting the people at night, travelers at night. That's what the Fist of Khonshu does. Along the way, we get Dr. Bader, I think his name is, who runs a free clinic, who turns out to be a hot new character. Everybody's really excited for him. Hunter's Moon, who is another Fist of Khonshu, who is not happy that Moon Knight spared vampires, which are like a sworn enemy of Khonshu. So they have a brawl and have like some differences. And we're also introduced to a mystery man in the shadows that's out to get Moon Knight. So you quickly realize after their fight, their first encounter, Hunter's Moon and Moon Knight, that wasn't the mystery man as you might have led to believe. And the whole story, it turns out that one of the people that hang out at the Midnight Mission, Terry, is the villain behind it all that's really trying to break him, named Zodiac. And Zodiac says he has Moon Knight on the run. I mean, on the ropes, basically. He blows up the Midnight Mission. Moon Knight's all beat up. He beats him up more, then says he doesn't want to kill him. He wants to break him. And then it's left with Hunter's Moon actually saving Moon Knight. Because Reese went to get Hunter's Moon, even though they're not friends. But yeah, it's a really good story. I'm trying to like give you a gist of it without totally spoiling all the ins and outs. And overall, a lot of the things, the twist of Terry being Zodiac and things, are storytelling tropes. And the thing with me is storytelling, there's always a lot of storytelling has the same types of tropes. And that doesn't bother me as much because as time goes on and on, it's hard to tell a truly, truly unique story. There's always some trope, it seems. So to me, that doesn't bother me as well, as long as it's handled well. And to me, even though that trope there, the big twist, it's someone you knew all along, da da da, I think it was handled very well. So that doesn't bother me at all. And I think overall it's a great story. that's what we have after the first six issues. Basically, you got Hunter's Moon, who still is kind of, I would say, maybe a frenemy of Moon Knight, and you have his midnight mission blown up, but he goes back to the blown up places and sits back down and says, basically, I'm going to continue my mission. And it's just really cool. For some reason, Tigra shows up a couple times. She doesn't really do anything except for have a chat in one issue with Mark for a little bit, because they used to serve on West Coast Adventures together. But I don't even really know why she's in the story, because she doesn't really need to be. I'm not mad she's there, but I'm still kind of confused of why she's there. But yeah, great run so far, and I highly recommend it. Now, I do realize I covered the first three issues of Moon Knight with a segment, a comic segment, where was talking about the current run of Robin and Moon Knight. But because of the trailer and because how much I enjoy this, I wanted to expand a little more on it and just tie it all together in this little spotlight. Another thing I want to talk about is, hopefully, with the next wave of Disney Plus shows coming, we will get some more Marvel Legends figures, because I would love a Moon Knight Disney Plus Marvel Legends, because that costume is sick. But also, I think I can say we desperately need an update to this Moon Knight figure. This was, I believe, the Walgreens exclusive. Came out, I think, last year. I think it was Walgreens. I picked up so many figures, as a lot of you do, that sometimes I forget. But I loved getting him because he was Moon Knight. That's when I first started really looking into the character, and when the announcement of the show, and becoming really interested in starting my fandom of the character. But getting him, he is kind of a disappointment. This body's outdated. It has no waist swivel. I mean, I love how the paint apps came out with the shading, but definitely need an update on him. I would love a figure with the shading, a comic version with the shading that could actually move better. But yeah, I would love for a Disney Plus Marvel Legends wave with Moon Knight and Hunter's Moon. I mean, the Disney Plus, of course, Moon Knight, but if I don't know, Hunter's Moon is speculated for the show, but if not, I would love in that wave to have a Hunter's Moon figure. He's just awesome. I love that character, and it's kind of, I like how the frenemy aspect is set up, and I want to see where it goes. Do they end up joining forces in a big way, or are they at each other's throats? So that'd be interesting to see how that plays out in the comic. But yeah, definitely want a new update to this, and I'm hoping there's some kind of show wave or something where we get eventually an update to him. I don't care how, when, just want one. And as well as the Disney Plus version, because that costume is awesome. So the purpose of the spotlight was to share how I felt about the Moon Knight trailer, my excitement for the show, how much I'm into the comics, my needs as an action figure collector, and once again that a show, movie, or other media can draw people to picking up the comics. I mean, I'm already a comic reader, so it might not been that hard of a stretch. Whether I can't really attest that someone that doesn't read comics would go pick up a Moon Knight comic because they thought the show was cool, or a WandaVision or an Avengers comic because of the movies, or an Iron Man. All I can say is, as a comic reader that knew of Moon Knight, but not a lot about him, didn't hate him, didn't not love him, just he was there in some of my other comics, thought he was pretty cool, but moved on. I never gave him a second thought to check out his comic. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you my perspective. So, hey, you never know. There might be people out there picking up new comics, which would be great for the industry. Like I said, I still believe that that's not really the case. I mean, there's got to be a few people, at least, you would think. But yeah, I just wanted to share, and that's the purpose of this video. And hope you check out these comics. I think will like them. And make sure you check out that Moon Knight show, because I think it's going to be fantastic. And I will share my thoughts on the show once it comes out. And with that being said, thanks for listening to my um, sickness-induced voice and rambling, and I'll catch you guys very soon back here on the Thwip side. Later.